අද්විතීය 200 Mbps ස්පීඩ් එකකින් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ වේගවත්ම සහ පුළුල්තම හෝම් බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් සම්බන්ධතාවය වන SLT මොබිටෙල් දේශීය ෆයිබර් බලවේගය ඔබත් අදම අත්විඳින්න.
හරිම සුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9, this Monday the 29th of May 2023. Assistance for Stability. ADB approves $350 million loan to Sri Lanka to provide budget support for economic growth and recovery. Duty and responsibility. The Ministry of Education and Department of Examination is duty-bound to create a conducive environment for students facing exams, emphasizes President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Improving. Sri Lanka's food security improving across all provinces. New UN agency report shows 17% of population now in moderate acute food insecurity. Consumer prices. The Ministry of Finance analysing whether prices of imported goods are revised in line with the dollar depreciation.
This is AdaDerana First at 9.
Alliance Finance මෙතුරු රන්නයි සේවාවෙන් රන් පවුම්කට රුපියල් 1,70,000ක ඉහළ අධිකාරමත්.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟම ඇති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9. I'm Shanela Fernando in your top stories for tonight. The Asian Development Bank today approved a $350 million special policy-based loan to provide budget support to Sri Lanka for economic stabilization. Issuing a statement, President of the regional lender Masatsugu Asakawa said the ADB is committed to standing with Sri Lanka as it addresses its present challenges and strides towards economic stabilization, sustainable recovery and inclusive growth.
The Asian Development Bank today approved a $350 million special policy-based loan to provide budget support to Sri Lanka for economic stabilization. Issuing a statement, the ADB highlighted that this loan is a part of a broader package of financial assistance anchored by the International Monetary Fund's extended fund facility for the country, which aims to stabilize the economy and lay foundation for economic recovery and sustained growth. ADB President Masatsugu Asakawa stated that the regional lender is concerned about the deep economic crisis in the country and its impact on the people of Sri Lanka, especially the poor and vulnerable, particularly women. Asakawa also stated that the ADB is committed to standing with Sri Lanka as it addresses its present challenges and strides towards economic stabilization, sustainable recovery and inclusive growth, while highlighting that it is a must to implement reforms which includes enhancement of tax revenue collection, strong public financial management, improving the performance of state-owned enterprises, ensuring autonomy and independence of the central bank, safeguarding financial sector stability and bolstering governance frameworks. The Asian Development Bank noted that it is essential to ensure that adequate social protection is provided. The bank also stated that implementing governance reforms and anti-corruption measures will be critical. Further, the regional lender stated that transparency and open communication will be crucial in building agreement around the reforms. The statement said that the ADB will proactively engage with the government, other stakeholders and development partners to help address structural impediments and plan future support.
The Ministry of Water Supply and the Asian Development Bank have agreed on a 3-year plan to implement significant reforms in Sri Lanka's water sector. This was agreed during a meeting held between officials of the Ministry of Water Supply and the Asian Development Bank. The Asian Development Bank is to provide $200 million in budget support to strengthen the reform agenda.
Minister of Water Supply and Estate Infrastructure Jeevan Thundaman chaired a special meeting with the ministry officials, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board and the Asian Development Bank to finalize significant reforms in the water sector. The meeting was held to achieve a unanimous opinion in the 3-year reform program, which aims at finding solutions to several basic problems in Sri Lanka's water sector and to address core challenges faced by the water sector, such as water scarcity, pollution and inadequate access to clean drinking water. It is also expected to create an extensive framework for enhancing water governance, promoting sustainable water use and strengthening capacity to adapt to the impacts of climate change. The Minister of Water Supply stated that the reform initiative has received significant support from the Asian Development Bank, which is expected to provide $200 million in budget support to strengthen the reform agenda.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasizes it is the primary duty of the Ministry of Education and the Department of Examinations to create a conducive environment for students to face examinations in familiar surroundings. During a meeting to address concerns of the obstacles faced by students when taking exams in unfamiliar environments, President Wickremesinghe emphasized the need for the Ministry of Education and the Examinations Department to prioritize the convenience and progress of students over the convenience of officials. The head of state also advised education authorities to establish a program to ensure all examinations are held without delay.
During a recent discussion with officials of the education sector, President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed concerns about the obstacles faced by students when taking exams in unfamiliar environments. President Wickremesinghe emphasized the need for the officials of the Ministry of Education and the Examinations Department to prioritize the convenience and progress of students over their own convenience. Recognizing difficulties faced by students, the President advised education authorities to transform schools with a minimum of 75 qualified students into examination centers, provided that it doesn't disrupt ongoing exam activities. He further instructed officials to take prompt action in implementing the plan. During the discussion, it was noted that the 2023 GCE Ordinary Level Examination, which commenced today, will be held at 3,568 centres until the 8th of June. However, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has received reports from concerned parents and students regarding the inconvenience caused by redirecting students from their own schools to other examination centres. The Ministry of Education and the Department of Examinations explained that they had made this decision due to the prevailing economic situation, aiming to limit the number of examination centres. Taking this situation into account, the President stressed the importance of informing schools and students about such changes at least 1 year in advance. He also emphasized the necessity of establishing a formal program to conduct all school examinations without any delay. The President clarified that it is not the responsibility of the Examinations Department to provide reasons for not holding exams, but rather the primary duty of the Ministry of Education and the Examination Department to create a conducive environment for students to sit for exams in familiar surroundings.
The Crop and Food Security Assessment Mission report on Sri Lanka shows that food security in Sri Lanka has improved across all provinces during the months of February and March this year. However, the report points out that food insecurity remains high in certain districts, including especially in Kilinochchi, Norelia, Mana, Batiklo, Vaunia and Jaffna. According to the Crop and Food Security Assessment Mission report prepared based on a survey carried out by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and the UN World Food Programme, food security in Sri Lanka has improved across all provinces during February and March. The report estimated that 17% of the population is in moderate acute food insecurity, which is nearly a 40% decrease when compared to the months of June and July last year. The improvement in food security stems from better food consumption, which the report says could be attributed to reduced food prices and improved incomes among farming communities during the harvesting period when the mission was carried out. Regardless of the positive trend, food insecurity still remains high in districts such as Kilinochchi, Norelia, Mana, Batiklo, Vaunia and Jaffna. Among that, the highest level of acute food insecurity was found within the tea plantation communities, in the estate sector and among daily wage labour and households who rely on social assistance programs such as the Samurdhi. Due to poor plant nutrition caused by an inadequate supply of fertilizer and unaffordability of essential material inputs, the production of cereal, including rice and maize, is forecast at 4.1 million tons, which is 14% below the past 5-year average. Essential fertilizers distributed by the government that were promoted by funds has impacted on production. The report stated that the 2022 and 2023 Maha season productivity is 12% higher compared to the 2022 Yala season. While highlighting that this report is an eye-opener on the continuing vulnerabilities and challenges that exist within the food systems of Sri Lanka, FAO country representative Vimalendra Sharan said that they remain committed to supporting Sri Lanka in their efforts towards achieving sustainable food systems, food security and zero hunger. Sri Lankans living abroad will be able to apply for a new passport or can renew their passport with effect from June 1st, 2023. This was revealed by the officials of the Immigration and Immigration Department who participated in a recently held sectoral oversight committee on international relations. According to the Communication Department of the Parliament, the officials pointed out that Sri Lankans who live abroad can apply for passports online without visiting Sri Lankan embassies in their countries. The committee also discussed the implementation of e-passport, and the chairman of the committee instructed the relevant officials to speed up this process. Further, the importance of attracting tourists from high-income generated countries like Europe to Sri Lanka was also discussed at length. We'll be back after a short commercial break.
ගොඩමඩ පෙරලි කරන බලපුළුවන් කාරයා මහින්ද්‍රා යුවෝ ටීමෝ වෙතින්. වැඩම ගොඩයි ගොඩම තමයි. ස්වරාජ් ට්‍රැක්ටර් ටීමෝ වෙතින්.
Welcome back. In more news, Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs Vidura Vikramanayaka says his ministry is ready to introduce an act to assure religious freedom and to prevent distortion of religion. Meanwhile, parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya Hector Appuhami said parliamentarians should be restricted from delivering statements that can affect the reconciliation among the public, both within and outside Parliament.
අද උදෑසන මට දුරකථන ඇමතුමක් එනවා ලංකාවේ ජාතික පුවත්පතකින් මේ දුරකථන ඇමතුම දීලා මගෙන් අහන්නේ බුද්ධාගමට විරුද්ධ අසත්‍ය ප්‍රචාර ගෙනියන්නේ රාජපක්ෂවරුන්ගේ අනුග්‍රහය ඇතුව කියලා කතාවක් තියෙනවා මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමාට කියන්න තියෙන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා මම ඔහුගෙන් මුලින්ම ඇහුවා මේ කියන එක්කෙනෙක් හරි අරගලේ නොහිටපු කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද කියලා මේ බුදුදහමට නිගා කරන මේ රටේ සංස්කෘතියට නිගා කරන පරපුර කියන්නේ ඊයේ පෙරේදා ওই අරගලේ හිටපු පරපුර
මේ රටේ ආගම විකුණලා ජාතිය විකුණලා විශාල වශයෙන් මේ රටේ ජනතාවගේ සංහිඳියාව සම්පූර්ණ විනාශ කරලා ආණ්ඩු පිහිටපු අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා. පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් හරි කමන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ හෝ මින් පස්සේ යම් ආගමික සංහිඳියාවකට ජාතීන් අතර ભેදයක් ඇති වෙන විදිහට කතා කිරීම සාර ධර්ම වලට හරි ඇතුළත් කරලා විශේෂයෙන්ම පාර්ලිමේන්තු තුලත් නතර කළ යුතුයි. ඒ නිසා පාර්ලිමේන්තුව පිටතත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඇතුළතදී මින් ඉදිරියට ආගම විකුණා කමින් දේශපාලනය කරන එක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මේ රටේ තහනම් කරන්න. මොකද
මේවට ඉඩ දෙන්නට බෑ. එක පැත්තකින් ආගමික නිදහස තහවුරු කිරීම, අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ආගම් විකෘති කිරීම වැළැක්වීම පිළිබඳව පනතක් අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩලයේ එකගතාවය ඇතුව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ගෙන එන්නටත් අපි ලෑස්තියි.
In business news, government says steps will be taken to relax bans imposed on imported goods that are essential for manufacturing and exports industries. Addressing media in Dehiovita today, State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya said his ministry is currently analysing whether prices of imported goods are revised in line with the dollar depreciation.
මේ වෙලාවේ අපි මේ මහා බැංකුවේ තියෙන ආර්ථික පරීක්ෂණ අංශයත් සමග ඉතා ඍජුව සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තමයි තීරණ ගන්න. මොකද අපි හදිසි තීරණ වලට යන වෙලාවක් නෙවෙයි. හැම පැත්තක්ම හිතලා බලලා අපේ රුපියල ශක්තිමත් වීම එහෙම නැත්නම් සංජිත වර්ධනය වීමට බාධාවක් නොවන ආකාරයට අපි අනාගතයේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. වඩාත්ම අවශ්‍ය දේ අපේ කර්මාන්ත වලට අපේ අපනයනයන්ට එදිනදා ජීවිතේට වඩාත්ම අවශ්‍ය දැනට නවත්වලා තියෙන ඒ පිළිබඳ යම්කිසි ලිහිල් ප්‍රතිපත්තියකට එන්න අනාගතයේ අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. දැනටමත් ඉන්දිකිරීම් ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ විශේෂයෙන්ම ඩොලරේ අගේ අඩුවීම බලපාන මේ සිමෙන්ති වෙන්න පුළුවන්, යකඩ වෙන්න පුළුවන්, විදුලි උපකරණ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒවා මේ ඩොලරේ අගේ අඩුවීමට සාපේක්ෂව නිසි පරිදි අඩු වුණාද කියන එක ගැන මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශය විශේෂ මේ සොයා බැලීමක් කරනවා. අපි ලබන අඟහරුවාදා ඒ පිළිබඳ සාකච්ඡාවක් කරලා ඒ සැබෑ තත්ත්වය අපේ පාරිභෝගිකයන්ට ලැබෙනවද කියන එක.
The Colombo Bourse closed lower today, dragged by losses in industrial and energy stocks. The CSE Old Share Price Index settled down 1.4% to end at 8,575.11 points, falling for three straight sessions. Rather, conglomerate Expo Lanka Holdings and Lanka IOC were the top losers on the index, falling 2.53% and 4.9%. respectively. Trading volume on the CSE All Share Price Index rose to 38.3 million shares from 25.9 million shares in the previous session. Meanwhile, the S&P SL20 dropped 2.09%, ending at 2,428.92 points. The market turnover fell to 518.9 million rupees from 729.7 million rupees in the previous session. Food and beverage and tobacco sectors was the top contributor to the market turnover, while the capital goods sector was the second highest contributor. Foreign investors were net buyers, purchasing stocks worth 31.9 million rupees, while domestic investors were net sellers, offloading shares worth 507.8 million rupees. Let's take a look at how the rupee traded against other major currencies during the day. Oil prices slipped today as worries over further interest rate hikes that could curb energy demand trumped a tentative US debt ceiling deal, possibly averting a default in the world's top oil consumer. Brent crude futures slipped 46 cents to $76 and 49 cents a barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude was at $72 44 cents a barrel, down 24 cents. Trade is expected to be subdued on Monday because of UK and US public holidays. US President Joe Biden and House of Representatives Speaker Kevin McCarthy over the weekend forged an agreement on the $31.4 trillion debt ceiling and cap government spending for the next 2 years. Still, analysts saw any boost in oil prices from the debt deal as short-lived, with earlier gains in the sessions now lost. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and Allies, including Russia, is due to meet on June 4th. The Saudi Energy Minister warned short sellers betting oil prices will fall to watch out, in a possible signal that OPEC Plus may further cut output. With that, we wrap up tonight's edition of First at 9. Thank you for joining. I'm Shanella Fernando. Have a good night.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit AdaDerana.lk.